What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In today's video, we're back with another showcase video. This time around, we are going to be showcasing none other than Mr. Charles Barkley, Mr. Slam Jam KATAKURI, of course. This guy is amazing, and I have quite a few clips for you guys in this video today. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the character himself, break him down so you guys know how he works. So his stats across the board with max limit break are very, very good, nearing 5,000 health, over 2,000 attack, over 300 recovery, just across the board, fantastic. His captain ability will boost fighter, slasher, shooter, driven, and powerhouse characters attack by 1.825, and if you have a character that has both of those classes, then you get a 3.33 times boost to that character. Very reminiscent of the original version 1 KATAKURI, but with some slight changes to the classes that he boosts. On top of this, he also gives those classes, those 5 classes with his captain effect, a 1.4 times color affinity boost passively, which is something that we've never seen on a captain ability before, just a passive color affinity boost, and it makes so much difference. If you're attacking with the correct color, getting type advantage, he becomes a 4.66 times captain, which is phenomenal. Highest captain multiplier in the game, but it does work in reverse as well. When you attack a character that you are weak against, you get like a 2.3 times boost if you are attacking with the wrong color. So obviously, attacking with type advantage is going to be very important. On top of that, also strength, sight, recovery, and tandem orbs are going to be matching to your team. And you heal back 50% of the damage that you received in the previous stage upon entering the next stage. So this means that if you take 10,000 damage in turn 1, you heal back half of that when you move on into stage 2. And if you have double KATAKURI captains, that is a full heal every time you enter a new stage. So it makes stalling with this guy much, much easier to do. Now, because we mentioned stalling, that actually works very, very well with his special ability, which maxes at 15 turns, and he deals 30 times of the amount of accumulated damage that you have received prior to activating the special ability. And this damage can scale up to crazy amounts, scaling all the way up to 6 million damage when you activate the special, and doing so, you would need to take 200,000 damage throughout your run. And on top of that, on top of doing the AoE damage, he also will add 15 times the amount of accumulated damage received before activating the special as additional tap timing bonus damage. And because you can get up to 6 million damage with his special ability damage, it means that that can scale to 3 million damage per tap per character, meaning in total you can get 18 million damage just with tap timing bonus damage with this guy when you have it maxed out, which is just crazy to think about. You can clear so many bosses in the game with his special ability alone, and you guys are going to be seeing how well we can abuse this in this video today. Also, he has 3 different abilities. He has Slot Bind by 7 turns. He also has the Provoked Attack with an additional 350, and he also has Recovery Bind, which is very important for this character in the way that he's built, and he resists it by 10 turns. He also has a support ability, which will go ahead and support Big Mom, Brulee, and Smoothie, and he'll add 12% of his stats to the supported character. His crewmate ability will add 75 base stats to all characters, and also gives himself a 1.1 times boost against int enemies as a subunit. Overall, I really enjoy using this character a lot, and you guys are going to be seeing plenty of videos in the future of me using version 2 KATAKURI. But now that we've gone through the character and how he works, let's go ahead and get into the showcase video. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the showcase video. So first of all, we have 2 different Coliseum clips for you guys. The first one is obviously going to be the one where KATAKURI is going to be showcased the most, because it is the Coliseum that was specifically built for him, which is going to be against Coliseum Smoothie. Obviously, because it was built for him, it makes it very, very easy for him. After this as well, we have a Coliseum Kuma playthrough as well. We have 3 different raid bosses in this video showing off as well. And of course, we have a training forest video as well. Now, I want to give my thoughts about KATAKURI. So I've been using him since I pulled him on day 1 of the Sugo Fest, and definitely, as most people would have found out by now, he is pretty slow. He is extremely slow because you do want to make sure that you are tanking enough damage so that when you use his special ability, you can get some serious damage output. And I knew that going into it. I understood that he wasn't going to be the fastest of captains. Obviously, having the max special ship does help out a lot, but in a lot of circumstances, KATAKURI is going to be amazing for fights that deal health cuts or damage to you with preemptive attacks, or, you know, they have just abilities that are able to cut your health. those are the type of dungeons where V2 Katakuri is going to shine the most. But even still, I think a lot of people, get it through their heads that like, oh, I have to take 200,000 damage in order to get the most damage with V2 Katakuri, which really isn't the case. In a lot of different circumstances, you can get away with taking like, 50,000 damage, which is actually pretty easy to do. A lot of mobs these days do a lot of damage to you, and you guys will be seeing that in this clip with Raid Boss Bato, Raid Boss Judge. The mobs actually do a lot of damage, and if you bring ways to heal up your health, then you can tank more damage on a specific stage. And another thing that I would suggest as well is to start socketing your characters with recovery up sockets, because when you do receive recovery orbs, you're going to be healing so much more from them, and it will enable you to stall even further on some of these different mob stages. We're moving on now to the next clip, which is Coliseum Kuma. You can see we are taking our time here to stall on the first couple stages to give ourselves some pretty serious damage output for his special ability. And that's one of the great things about Katakuri, is that when you do stack up enough damage with his special, you are able to literally kill bosses with just his special, which is the most insane stuff in the world. Also, Legend Marco and Whitebeard are going to be amazing units for V2 Katakuri. Not only is like as a captain and then using V2 Katakuri as a sub, that will 100% work. That though is a little bit longer in terms of clearing content. You are going to have to be stalling for a very, very long time in order for you to, fully abuse that. But even running Whitebeard and Marco as a sub on a Katakuri team, I was actually really surprised at how good they were, because if you guys don't know, the swap effect of Whitebeard and Marco is so good. It enables you to get a guaranteed recovery orb, which enables you to heal a lot more with the Katakuri, allowing you to get more stall. But it also reduces 1 turn of paralysis and special bind on your team. And because they have a sailor ability that enables them to completely avoid paralysis and special bind, it means that you can always get the healing off with his recovery orb, and it means that you can use his special ability whenever you need be. Whenever you need a health cut or whenever you need to heal, Whitebeard and Marco are going to be so key for that. Another sub that's going to be really great for Katakuri, and a lot of people might not think about that, which is going to be Corazon. Now, I don't have any clips in this video for you guys today with Corazon as a sub, but he is very, very good. He isn't fully boosted by Katakuri at all. He isn't even half boosted. He is Cerebral Free Spirit, doesn't get any boost from Katakuri's Captain effect, but that's one of the great things about him. The fact that he doesn't get boosted means you can use him to attack the mob characters, meaning that you'll be able to stall even further without killing them, because that's one of the problems. You don't want to kill the subs too quickly or the mobs too quickly, otherwise you won't be able to stall and get your damage. Another great thing about Legend Corazon is the fact that when you limit break him, he has the reduced cooldown limit break ability, and I would suggest using tablets on that, because it enables you to use his healing effect literally on the first stage of any fight, so you can stall for way, way longer. And then, just thinking about other ways you can use this Katakuri, when I was building some teams for this guy, I found that a lot of times I was mainly using powerhouse and fighter related characters. They just often seem to be the best units to work with Katakuri. Obviously, Katakuri himself is a fighter and a powerhouse unit, so they synergize very, very well. But it just seems just in general, like not even relating to the boost that they give, but just the specials and how everything works together. They work so much better with Katakuri as the captain, and obviously bringing the right characters, you can get the type advantage, which gives you the higher multiplier with Katakuri's captain effect, and it works really, really well. So now that we've cleared Coliseum Kuma on this clip here, the next clip is going to be against Raid Bato. Yeah, that's right, Raid Bato. So another great character that I actually was really excited to use for this particular team was also Rare Recruit Aman. She is amazing for the Katakuri teams. We already know her cooldown is extremely high, and in a lot of circumstances, you're not going to be getting her stage 2 special ability, and I completely understand that. But Aman's stage 1 special ability is actually absurdly powerful. It gives you barrier reduction, it gives you a health cut, it gives you defense reduction, and she is fully boosted on the Katakuri team, being Slasher and Driven, and she's also Int, which is very, very nice as well. So I think that, the fact that V2 Katakuri has different classes compared to the V1 Katakuri, that's what a lot of people are going to be talking about with this character, is that this V2 version no longer boosts Cerebral or Striker characters, but in turn they pick up the slasher and driven boost, which is actually really interesting, and you can do some really cool shenanigans with that. And of course, you can't go past Legend Snake Man, who also just got released with the Katakuri Sugo Fest. He is also going to be an amazing sub, and even as a captain, and then you can run Katakuri as your friend captain, and that enables you to get like nearly essentially every single orb is beneficial to your team. So that works very, very well if you guys don't end up pulling Katakuri. Having Snake Man as your captain with a friend is going to be like pretty awesome, and that will work for like a lot of different content. Moving on now, we're moving on to Raid Zoro. Now, this was one thing that I actually really was surprised about. V2 Jinbei is actually a god tier sub for V2 Katakuri. You can run a full team run of Strength, Psi, and Dex characters, and you can use V2 Jinbei as a sub for your crew's type booster, and that works exceptionally well, as he provides a 20% health cut as well as the type boost. Also, V1 Judge is very, very good here as well. V1 Judge, the pre-6+ version, even the 6+ version as well is also really good. But this Judge, I'm using him here as well. He's awesome, gives you an orb boost, reduces bind, just an all-round really useful unit to have. Also, Treasure Map Lore I'm using on this team as well. Another great sub-unit for the Katakuri teams because he gives you some really nice matching orbs, he gives you a chain boost, and he's also a cooldown reducer, which could be quite useful. You could definitely, you know, use this character as like a special ability through the middle of your run to help you reduce your cooldowns even further. That's one way that I would probably use this Treasure Map Lore in your teams with V2 Katakuri. And speaking of lore, you could opt for running version 1 Legend lore as a sub. Now, we do know that Legend lore V1 is not fully boosted on the Katakuri team. He's only half boosted in terms of multiplier, but his special ability just works so well in tandem with version 2 Katakuri, as lore will enable Katakuri special to bypass barriers, and that is an option that you could do here with Raid Zoro, as he has a damage threshold and he has a great barrier. So you could use V1 lore and then the Katakuri specials to bypass the barriers, dealing a crap ton of damage through barriers. So that is also one way that you could use some other legends. I would still love to personally pull V3 Dex Sabo and use him on a Katakuri team just to see how he would actually work out, boosting the orbs of fighter, free spirit, and shooter characters, mainly just the shooter and fighter characters, and see how that would work on a V2 Katakuri team with a 3x chain lock. I think that would be extremely powerful. So now that we've cleared out Zoro, we can move on to Raid Judge. Raid Judge, I think, out of all of these clips you're seeing in this video, I think Raid Judge was the one that took me the longest to try and build a succinct team in actually beating Judge, and that was just because every time I would actually clear this, I would get to the final stage, use Katakuri special, but I wouldn't have enough damage output. So I had to keep stalling more and more and more, just because I just needed the damage output. I wanted to have every single color on my team here for the stage 4 mini boss, because you have those characters with the orb barriers, and they can all have random orb barriers on each turn. So it's better to have one of every color so you can get around any orb barrier no matter which one it is. And because of that, you can't have that many strength units, and that was the main problem with this team. So even though we only have one strength unit that is needed to bypass the strength orb barrier of Judge on the final stage, this is still able to do it without any color affinity units on my team, which was actually really surprising. I didn't think it was going to be as easy as what it was. So, you know, Katakuri coming in clutch against Raid Judge. And I guess that's kind of the weakness of Katakuri at the same time, is the fact that, yes, if you do hit with the wrong color, like, you are not going to be doing any damage whatsoever, but if you do hit with that right color, you're good to go. So you really have to understand how the dungeons work, what kind of enemies you're going to be facing, to prep your team correctly with the correct colors to then take that team into the final boss stage, or into that dungeon from the get-go. Because, you know, if you don't plan correctly, you're not going to have your color affinity with the captain effect, and you are essentially going to die, because a 3.3 captain really isn't overly amazing. You're really relying on the passive color affinity and also the special ability of Katakuri to carry you through with the damage output. And now we're moving on to the last clip of this video, which is going to be against the Capone Forest. I was surprised at how easy this team was able to clear the Capone Forest. Really, I was actually shocked at how easy it was able to actually accomplish this. This was way easier than using version 1 Katakuri against this forest, which is what I used to clear it the very first time around. That video is also on my channel as well, using V1 Katakuri to clear this dungeon. But this was awesome. I loved using Katakuri in the training forest, and like, Katakuri really is a beast for training forest in general, because the fact you can just have him on your team, use the special when you really need it, and it's able to essentially clear an entire room. because you're taking so much damage along the way when you're moving through training forests. And you know, you can even use him as a sub on training forest. He's probably better as a sub on training forest, to be honest. But like, this was actually a fast run. Like, I think I was able to clear the training forest in under 10 minutes, which for a training forest run, that's pretty goddamn quick. So yeah, that's it. And I'm actually using the Rocket Man ship and a full powerhouse related team. And this is what I was saying at the start of the video. Like, I found that using KATAKURI, I found that, you know, powerhouse related units are like some of the best units to use with him. And the Rocket Man is just a perfect fit, because we already have the Zunisha ship who will make recovery in tandem beneficial, which it doesn't matter that much considering KATAKURI already makes recovery in tandem beneficial. But the fact that I knew that the Gear 4 Anami stage was on this specific dungeon, and I wanted to make sure I could hit my greats properly, I wanted to bring the Rocket Man. And also, the Rocket Man gives you more HP recovery per turn, so it's actually better using it for stalling on some of the mini-boss stages, so you can accumulate more damage taken for his special ability. But I think that's about it, guys. I think that's the full showcase video. I'll let the rest of this clip play against the Capone Forest. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy it. Definitely stages 18, 19, and 20 are worth the watch. But anyways, I really hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And if you guys did enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.